Ladies and gentlemen, look at this gorgeous plate. We got some real buffalo wings there, and we got everything that goes with them. Our celery, our blue cheese dressing, and just in case you're one of those, also there's a bit of ranch there too. Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. This is Texas Cooking Today. On this episode, we're going to be cooking up some delicious food, and this is one of my tutorials. Now, if you don't need a video that teaches a lot of technique and methodology and that goes into depth about the ingredients, the previous episode is just the recipe, all right? But this one is all about how we pull it off. Folks, let's get in the kitchen and get busy cooking. Come on. Today, I'm going to be making some buffalo wings. Buffalo wings are delicious. They're not that hard to make either. But what is a buffalo wing, all right? Well, the story goes back just a little bit. So let's look at the history for just a minute. 1964, there was a little pub in Buffalo, New York that decided to start making a nice spicy wing to serve with their beverages. So that's what they did. They came up with this buffalo wing, which is a fried wing, and it is served with blue cheese dressing, also some celery. That is generally the meal when people order it at that same place today. And they're still being sold there. Okay, so this is a recipe that's been cranking around for over 50 years, and it has actually become an iconic recipe throughout the United States. People from coast to coast in the United States eat buffalo wings now. These have become popular. But you're going to notice little variations. The way you're going to get a buffalo wing in California, or the way you get one in Texas, or New Orleans, or Buffalo, New York, may not all be the same. Okay? So what I'm going to do is to prepare for you some buffalo wings that are as close to those that you would get in Buffalo, New York as possible, with one exception. Up there they like to use the Frank's red hot sauce, and I'll be using a little bit different sauce than that. I have one that I think tastes just a little bit better, so I'm going to go with it. Also, if you wanted to make it regional, you can throw in a little chipotle sauce with that. What the heck? You know, the thing about how you season the buffalo wing before plating it up, that's pretty much up to you. And it's going to be up to your tastes and what you like. And that's how you make your buffalo wings personalized for you. It's just that simple. It's all in the sauces. But how to get the sauce to stick to the wing and not be too gummy or nasty or weird, that's a whole different thing. So I'm going to show you a technique of cooking these up that really works well, and it produces a very, very good tasting buffalo wing. Guys, this is buffalo wings, I guess 101, right? Okay, let's get into making these wonderful tasting goodies. This is buffalo wings. When I was out shopping for my wings, I only found those that were complete whole wings. It was kind of disappointing, really, because I wanted them already cut up. Make it a little easier on me. But guess what? These are what I have to work with. So I'm going to show you how to disassemble a whole wing to cook up as a buffalo wing. We'll show you how to take them apart at the joints, and it's not very hard. Now, in addition to what we're going to be doing with our chicken, we have a few other ingredients right down here. And this particular recipe, guys, is not one where I need to say to you, oh, okay, you need X amount of salt and X amount of pepper, so many teaspoons of this or that. This recipe is more just from the heart kind of thing. You pick as many chicken wings as you think that you and the folks around you are going to want to eat, okay? It's just that easy. And when it comes to the other ingredients, the same way. Your celery, however much folks are going to enjoy there. When it comes to this coating, we just need enough cornstarch to coat our wings. The cornstarch, when it comes to making buffalo wings, what that does for you, we dust it with this first, then fry it. It leaves a very thin yet slightly crisped coating on the outside of the wing. The benefit there is it allows that wing to hold the sauce that we want to put on it. Those wonderful sauces, the flavors after we get it cooked up. Also, in buffalo, With the sauce, it's common to use some melted butter. So if you want to do that, use melted butter, mix with your sauce. That gives it more of that real Buffalo, New York flavor. Up there, a lot of folks like to use the Frank's hot sauce, okay, and which is a good one. I like using Cholula. It's a very clean, distinct flavor. It's also very popular in my region. And I have here some Chipotle. So if I wanted to make it a little more on the, hey, Southwestern kick, I can do that. So I can spice it up with that afterwards. Now I've got some salt and black pepper. That's for seasoning the wings before we cook them. And once it's all cooked up and ready and we have all of this done, we get our dressings out. Now I've got some blue cheese dressing and I've got some ranch dressing. And the dressing that's correct is whichever one that you and your guests prefer the most. It's just that simple, guys. So we're going to get into disassembling these wings next. We'll fry them up and we're going to get busy making some absolutely delicious buffalo wings. Folks, when it comes to how do we make our wings the way we want them, I've got these whole wings and they're kind of, well, going to be difficult to work with in this condition. So what I have to do is take my wings and bend them literally backwards. So what I've done is I've separated, you can see here, the bone protruding on the skin right there. Well, I've just separated that joint by bending it backward. Now I can slip my knife in between there and cut these two pieces apart. I do the wing nubbin the exact same way, and it doesn't always dehinge, but it'll loosen it enough, and there's the bone right there protruding, that you can get your knife right up through there. When you're doing this, and I recommend just go ahead and do all of them. This is just part of when it comes to processing chicken. It may seem a little bit unnerving if you're doing this for the first time because of the noises that make, but don't let that bother you. Just dive right into it and go at it. And some of these, if you'll notice, they didn't do a good job of cleaning them. The feathers are still there. It's not an issue, okay? And don't let that bother you if you see that. But if you see it up on the meat portion, you might want to go ahead and remove those. It doesn't matter down here on the part that's being discarded. Let's go ahead, take our knife, and begin cutting through these. Now, something I want to mention. When you're cutting through chicken, and you might occasionally nip through the bones and stuff like that, you need a good strong knife, something maybe with a forged blade that's good and thick on the back here. And when you're doing that, make sure you choke up on that knife. Get the fingers pinched on the blade just like this, and grab that handle good and firm. The whole idea there is when you're cutting stuff like this, and if you're holding it like this, that knife has a tendency to roll like that or like that. And if your hand is nearby, you can get cut. You don't want that kind of thing happening. And if you pinch that blade, it reduces the possibility of that roll happening. It's a much easier type of thing. You can do that, and it makes life so much better for you. Now this, I want to cut the skin down here, let them fall backward. There we go. And I just try to find the end of this one and cut right outside of it. So simple. You look for the tip on that drumette, and it cut that free from it. These nubbins, if you wish, the ends of the wings right there, again, that can be used in a pot for stock, and you're going to have some really, really tasty stock, okay? So don't be afraid to give that a shot. There we go. These go in my pot and get boiled up for stock. Good stuff right there, folks. Now when it comes time to get everything seasoned, hold that salt good and high, just like so. That way the particles, the salt will fall evenly and openly, and you don't get too much in any one spot. All right, just that simple. The same way with that pepper, get the grinder up kind of high, and I have it right now set to a coarse grind. I like to do my buffalo wings that way. All right, looky there. I'm going to flip them over, give them the same treatment on the other side. You can see easily the amount that I'm putting on through that close-up. There we go. And the same way on my pepper. The equipment I'm going to need to do this frying, I'll need a pan with a pan rack on it, which is just a draining rack. I'll have that setting behind here. I'm also going to need a couple of large bowls. One is going to be for dusting the wings with the cornstarch, and the other is going to be for putting the sauce on at the end of the cooking cycle. I need a pan big enough to cook my wings in, so I'm going to put plenty of oil in here. Have a thermometer that I can check the temperature of that oil with. Make sure that's clear of the bottom, okay, that it's not touching, because you don't want it to get a false reading on that oil. And I want to mention something when it comes to pans for doing this kind of cooking. You can use a regular fry pan, something like this. But the reason I don't like to use that kind of a pan is because of this sloped side. Believe it or not, this pan takes a good deal more oil than this one, which is actually a deeper pan. And that's because of the shape of it. If the shape of this were straight-sided, it wouldn't hold nearly as much oil. But when you figure that whole ring all the way around there, that's about 1.5 cups, 2 cups of extra oil to fill this over a straight-sided pan. And if you have a pan with a straight side, go with it. I have this one, and I have another one this diameter that's about this tall. So depending on the nature of my frying, I use either that one or this pan. Today I'm going to be using peanut oil, and I need a good deep amount. Let's take a close look in here at how much I'm about to pour in there. I'm going to be doing a fairly deep fry, and so I wanted you to see that when I put my oil in there, I want it to be about 3/4 of an inch to an inch. And that's what I have. Now there's also going to be some displacement from the chicken. So don't fill it halfway or all the way up. That's not what you want to do, because when you put the chicken in there, it'll overflow and then you have a grease fire. Make sure you never bring your oil over 1/3 of the height of the pan, okay? That way you're good and safe when you're frying. Generally, this recipe, the way it fries up, you don't have to worry too much about too much splash over, because there's not a heavy activity in the pan when it's frying. There's some fry action, but it's not extreme like some items can be. Let's go ahead and get these wings dusted. I wanted to show you. We have our drumette. Put them down in there. Just give it a little shake. The flour's going to, or excuse me, the cornstarch will flip right up over it. You don't have to worry about that. But what you do need to worry about, sometimes cornstarch likes to really stick, okay? So I recommend picking up your drum or the other part of the wing, and then smacking it a couple times with a spoon, your tongs, and that way it'll knock off the excess, and we have a well-coated wing. All right, I'm going to do that on all of them. Just give them a little shake. There we go, all done. Now, here's the thing, guys. This makes a beautiful crust when frying. Neat thing about cornstarch, it is really versatile for a lot of different things. It's not just a thickener for sauces. This is a really cool way to fry up food and it come out nice and crispy without having a whole lot of flour or anything like that involved. Now right now my oil is heating up, and I'm going to want it right at 325 degrees when I throw these little gems down in there. As you can see, 1 cup of cornstarch goes a long ways. All fixed up and ready to go. All right, folks, let's get these right down in our hot oil. And please remember, it's going to take a little time, and that oil's temperature is going to fluctuate, so go ahead, keep the burner turned up good and high, because these are going to really pull it down. It'll push up at first, and then it comes right back down. So keep that burner up so it can recover well. Now about this time in my cooking, which is generally about 30 seconds to a minute in, I'll just move these around a little bit so I know they're not sticking to each other. That's really all you got to do. The rest of it is fairly easy. Now these pieces that are sticking up, I want to rotate them over because this part is already set. So we're good there. All right, I'll just leave these alone now and let them cook. At 5 minutes in, I want to turn these that are sticking up over, and all of the others I want to flip them because you know they're getting the majority of the heat on the bottom and I want them to cook evenly. So halfway through the cook, 5 minutes, flip them over. This also helps to ensure even cooking. Turn on over. Sometimes they may fight you a little bit. Just show them who's boss and go ahead and turn them over. Folks, I have everything cooked up now. The wings are all finished. I've got some celery ready to go here. I'm just going to move this to the side, and I have my sauces ready. What I'm going to do is take my wings, about 3 or 4 at a time, and place them down in my bowl. Go. Now that's a good 4. So here we go. I'm just going to put my sauces in here and then I'm going to shake it to dash them. And it's just that simple. Come up a little closer. Let's look at how much I'm using. There you go. We have the bird's eye view now. I'm going to use some of my Cholula sauce. I don't have to use a whole lot. Just get a little in there. I like that chipotle, so I want it to have a little kick. And also, I just love the flavor of butter. It doesn't take a lot of this, guys, so just drizzle a little butter in there and then give them a shake. You want them well coated, but they don't have to be saturated. Remember, there's a lot of flavor in all of this, okay? That sauce is magnificent. So there we go. I have my wings ready to go. Folks, as you can see, this one is just not that tough. Remember, this was a dish that was invented as pub food. So it's supposed to be kind of humble, easy going, kind of relaxed kind of food. And it's supposed to be easy and quick to make. And that's exactly what this is. Now, if it looks like I put extra cheese on my blue cheese, well, ladies and gentlemen, I did. Man, let me tell you, you combine that blue cheese dressing with this guy, wow, by itself, flavors are magnificent. These are really, really, really good wings. And if you haven't had them this way, well, you've missed out. And now's your opportunity. You get to cook them up the right way. Folks, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy this fabulous recipe and try these techniques. Use that cornstarch and find out how it keeps things just stuck to the wing and how the wing doesn't feel all gooey or sopped over, as long as you're conservative with how you make your sauce. Those wings are well coated all the way over and the flavors are banging good. Nothing is overdone, all things in balance, and it's delicious. Thank you much for watching. I really appreciate that. If you would, take a look at my channel. And folks, I would like to say thank you and you have a good day. Bye-bye. There it is. Wonderful recipe. And now you know everything there is to know about how to pull that off. Guys, I'd like to say thanks very much for watching Texas Cooking Today. If you would, please click that subscribe button and the little bell next to it so I can notify you when new things come out. Also, so you'll know in advance, I post on Thursdays. Every week, Thursday. Thank you very much for watching, and if you would, folks, please have a good day. Bye-bye.